Could you give a fitness update on your players, please?
Fitness update that Sima will be out. We're in contact with Brighton about that for the next couple of weeks. Arabi Matondo got also a bad tackle during that game against Hearts, where we get a free kick around 16 there. So he's doubtful for the weekend. And Ridvan Yilmaz and Ryan Jack I expect back in training next week.
With Abdallah, is that would you not expect to see him playing this season again? Or?
I hope to see him playing again this season, and he hopes also. Yeah, he's very motivated for that.
Must be quite tough for him, given he's just come back from the injury.
Yes, but he's a terrific lad. He's somebody with really strong mental strength, really positive person. So he takes it and he wants to come back as fast as possible and works hard for that.
How do you now view this run-in, these last 5 games in the league and then the Scottish Cup?
Yeah, it's exciting. Eh? It's nice also. I think for all the fans to have the best team competing with each other. It creates an extra tension. I think you guys like that also. So I come out of a country where they make a crazier system, what I didn't like, and that's dividing the points there. So we have also a split. We have playoffs where everybody plays 2 times against each other, so it's longer, 10 games. But there's the dividing of the points, and that was for me always like not honest, because it changes everything. It's like the first part of the season looks like less important, or you can win. We had one time that we were 20 points ahead of the second, and we lost the first game, and suddenly it was from 20 points to 7 in 2 days. So mentally, it's also a strange thing. So in that way, I think it's a good system in Scotland to have at the end of the season the best teams competing. For the most important part of the season also.
How much has that cup victory changed the morale after those 2 league results?
Not, and I said it after the game also. If you don't have the morale, you cannot play that way against Hearts. So Hearts play a very good season, really good season. They took a lot of points. They've been a strong team, and if in that way you can win that game in the way we did. You cannot do that if the morale is not good before the game. It's impossible.
Just a final one on Abdallah, Philippe. When is the earliest you think he may return?
No, I wish I could say those things. I'm not a doctor. I'm not the guy who's smart in reading scans. So I listen always to the specialized persons, and we are in discussions about that also with Brighton and with doctors. So I cannot say anything about that yet.
Would you say it's exciting the end?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Is that what you're saying to your players? Are you saying to them that with these 5 league games in the Scottish Cup that it's your opportunity here, win all these games, and realistically you could go home with a treble?
No, I tell them win the next game.
Just one at a time still.
Yeah, of course. Of course, it's the only way, and not only here, in every league. Everybody who's busy with more games loses his focus. It's about the next game and to show yourselves. We had in that way the bad week, but you need the next game to be there. And if you win, you need to win the next one also, or it's not good. And if you don't win, you need to react the next game. So it's game by game, simple as that, putting all the energy into that. But it's exciting that it's now for me it's also an evaluation moment, always this split like we had in Belgium, because you can see, okay, everybody played against everybody the same amount of games. So if we look back, and of course I want to know everything, the analysts give also the overview. If we look back in the last 6 months, when we are working here together, then we are the team who took the most points. We took 4 points more than Celtic in that period. If you look to only games in the Premiership against Premiership teams, then it's even more, because we won also the cup final, and we won against Hearts, and they had to draw against Aberdeen. So I think everybody in the club would have signed for that 6 months ago, and nobody believed that would be possible. It's now repeating that again. It's not a guarantee, it's nothing, but it's something they've proven already, and now they need to prove it again the next 6 games. It's about that.
Is that what you're saying to your players? You know, when you arrived, there was this big gap between yourselves and Celtic. Scottish Cup hadn't even started.
No, I didn't say that. You guys said it every week. I didn't have to say it once.
But are you saying to them now that look at where we've come in these 6 months? You talk about that evaluation period. You're saying look at where we've come, and now we have this massive opportunity in these final 6 games. Yeah,
of course, because they've proven it. It's not something that you hope for, that comes falling out of the sky. It's something they did already. It's now repeating it and making it better.
Philippe, can I ask you about you mentioned the split there. Do you think it's fair then that after 33 games, some teams have played 2 games at home against Rangers, some teams have played 2 games at Ibrox, and yet only 1 at home? That's not fair, is it?
No, that's not fair.
How do you solve that?
Less teams in the league and play less games then, and have a system like that.
Less teams?
Or more teams but more quality then. Less teams and play 4 games. I don't know, and I don't know enough about all the country if you can have more teams and the same quality of the league, because you need to watch out also for that. I'm also not in a position to speak about those things, because I don't see the lower league games. So the only thing you can change then is that if not enough quality, it needs to be less teams and more playing against each other and having this split, or more teams and playing only 2 games against each other. But it is what it is. I think for clubs in general, if you look over a big period, it stays honest. Because you have 1 year you have more home games, other year you have less home games, but maybe for managers and players it's less honest, because we are sometimes less long in a club to have a very long period.
The one thing that split does bring though is the top 6. All 6 clubs have something to play for, with even Dundee, St Mirren, Kilmarnock, all battling for European spots.
Also for the honour, then I think, to be there in top 6. It's something that everybody's working for all season. It's also, I think, for some teams, they have like, if we achieve that, we had a really great season. And I think all 6 teams who are there now, they deserve to be there also. They did a really good job.
Finally for me then, and there's obviously always a pressure on being at a club like Rangers on this must-win scenario every week. How much do you expect to learn about the players mentally and how they cope with this? Because yes, they can cope with a cup, but to be a winner in the league is very different, because it comes over.
It's exciting as a manager, this process, because you've been in it. I've been in it long. In Belgium with that system, because it's even more pressure, like I explained there. And then you see differences with players, yes, but not only the players, also all the people around the players, all the staff, all the people who speak with players. It's all massive, that everybody doesn't go in a roller coaster of that moment only, because it can make shifts and turns so fast. I gave you the example with Bruges that we had that and we became champion that season. But like this season, I think Union was 19 points ahead of Bruges. And now they played 5 games and Bruges is in front of Union, and Anderlecht is in the first position. So it can go really fast there in that way. In this way also, it will be a competition with 6 teams who are close together. So all scenarios are possible, and it can make a lot of turns still in these 5 final games. Alex told me once that he became champion last 4 games. He was 5 points behind, for example. So everything is possible. So it's again good for you guys that there are a lot of scenarios possible, a lot of things to write about. And for us, it's about thinking about next game and doing everything possible to win that game and to be focused on that.
There were reports this week, Philippe, about potential interest in James Tavernier and Conor Goldson from Steven Gerrard in Saudi Arabia. Do you expect them to be part of your squad next season?
I didn't hear Steven. Yeah, I expect them to be here next season, yes. That's my expectation.
Have you spoken to them about their futures? Or their
No, there's no reason. My players come to speak with me about that if they have doubts or if they want to go or if they're out of contract. So we have that relationship. If I need to speak with every player where there's a rumor about, then we will not train too much, I think. Or I cannot speak about a lot of interesting things because there are so many rumors in the world now and so many fake news also. So if you every time need to go to speak about that, it's waste of energy, I think.
Philippe, the players that are out of contract at the end of the season, have you decided which players will be offered new contracts yet?
In big part, yes, but there are still 6 games to convince in another way.
So these last 6 games can affect somebody's
Of course,
future?
maybe somebody we could not count on enough the last season, but he plays the next 6 games and he's the best guy on the pitch, then it's silly not to give a contract. So everything is still possible, it's in their hands.
Any further forward with John Lundstrom?
Nothing to speak about now, no. There have been offers from the club. There's no agreement yet. That's the only thing I can say for the moment.
You expect him to agree to stay?
I hope that. I know he loves the club. I know he loves to be here. And then it depends of what you can offer as a club and what other clubs are offering in this situation. That's why I don't like that important players are end of contract. We talked about that already a few times. I don't think it's a good thing for a club, but it's something that will never happen again in the period that I'm here for sure.
So just just confirmation, you're saying that John has other offers from clubs?
I expect he has, yeah.
Can I just ask one last question on Conor Goldson? You obviously said you wanted to give him a bit of a rest last weekend. Leon came in, did very well. Do you see any reason why you might want to change that?
I can change. What I said, I have 4 really good centre backs for me who did a good job this season. And it's about every game looking who's in the best shape at that moment. It's about momentum. And maybe they are all 4 in a good momentum, and then it's tactical choices to make. So it will continue like it was the last couple of months. There's no difference in that.